I didn't, but LGBTQ plus young people are 8 times more likely to be homeless than their non-LGBTQ plus counterparts. Well, my next guest has combined his compassion for these kids with his passion for knitting. And in less than 2 years, he's been able to pass out thousands and thousands of clothes to queer and trans homeless youth across New York City. It's amazing. That makes him a really rad human.
Hi, Josh.
Yeah.
Austin, nice to meet you.
Also, you have a name like straight up out of a novel.
Oh, thank you.
Austin Rivers?
Thank you. It's regal sounding, a little magical.
Sounds like the love interest. I'm into it. I'm into it. So this all started with your love of knitting, right?
It did, yes. I learned how to knit about 4 years ago. I was singing in an international tour in Japan, and I learned how to knit there, and I just fell in love with it.
Wow.
So I was knitting mostly for myself. I was knitting for some friends, like for Christmas gifts and presents. And then the pandemic hit, and it's in 2020, and I had to do something to help someone. And as a Black gay person living in New York City, I know that there's a housing disparity that's being faced among our LGBTQ plus youth in New York City and around the nation.
Yeah.
So I didn't have the resources and the connections to make a shelter, but what I could do was take my passion for knitting and craft. So I started working and crafted as many garments as I could to distribute to the youth.
Oh my gosh, do you craft? Do you do any crafting?
No, I don't do anything like that, and I actually feel like I'm worthless right now listening to all of this. Like I should have picked up something and helped others in the same way. That is incredible. It's truly unbelievable.
And it's smart. It's like, I think we all feel like we have to do something in such a big way for certain things, but your way is a big way because it's something you excel at, and it's your gift, right?
Yes.
So this whole thing blew up pretty quickly, right?
It did, much quicker than I thought it was going to when I first started it. You know, it was just me initially, and then it spread around to my friends and my peers who heard about what I was doing and wanted to help out. And then from the word of mouth and the power of social media, now we have hundreds of volunteers across the nation. We have volunteers in over 27 states and in 3 different countries who are sending us scarves and beanies and socks and cardigans and sweaters and really anything that you can hand make, they're sending us. So it's super exciting, and they're doing a great job at keeping the garments that we're going flowing. And they're sending us stuff daily. 2 to 4 boxes I'm getting a day in my apartment in New York City.
It's so cool that you get to help, but it's also cool that you gave people an avenue for them wanting to do something but not maybe knowing what to do.
Yes, exactly. Craftivism is a huge thing, and folks who are yes, that's like, it's a term that was coined a couple of years ago, and it's folks who are like interested in crafting and wanting to find a way to help folks with crafting. So we're doing that. We're growing and growing every day. So in our first year, we collected a little over 4,000 garments.
Wow.
Yeah, it was super exciting. Much more than I thought I was going to do by myself, obviously. And I can remember our first drop-off day. We partnered with the Ali Forney Center, which is the largest organization dedicated to houseless, at-risk LGBTQ plus youth in the nation. We made other partnerships, continued to grow and grow, and just taking as many garments as we can and serving these youth.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have someone in our audience who knows firsthand just how valuable Knit the Rainbow is. So let's say hi to Andy, everybody. Hi, Andy. Hi. So can you tell us about your experience with Knit the Rainbow?
Hi, Kelly. Hi, Austin, too. So my husband and I recently moved to New York City. He is a bisexual cis man, and I am a trans non-binary person. And it was a really positive change. We were coming from less accepting environments in Florida, but we could not find secure housing. So there were a few months where we were either on friends' couches or less desirable living circumstances, and it was really rough. We finally got an apartment. It's wonderful, and we had no winter clothing, could not afford winter clothing. I went to a trans event that was actually pictured in one of the images you showed, and there was a table that was just covered in hundreds of knitted garments, and I had no idea what they were doing there. The announcer said, these are actually for anybody who does not have enough things to stay warm. And I kind of hid in the back of the room thinking, I don't deserve this from a stranger. And then I finally convinced myself to take these knitted things, and I was just so astonished that anybody would do this for like a stranger, but especially the stranger who was really me. As a queer person, I'm often in situations where I think, well, I'll take this resource, but it's not really for me. And being somewhere where I knew this was explicitly for me because I am queer, because I am trans, was I really wish I could explain to you how transformative of an experience that was for me. So
Wow.
thank you so much for what you're doing.
Wow.
Thank you. Thanks, Andy.
So, where do you see Knit the Rainbow like growing from here? What are your like big goals?
That is a great question, Kelly.
Well,
I think the end goal would be to go national. That's my
Yeah.
hope. And I would love to have hubs of Knit the
unfortunately, there's
Rainbow.
so many homeless
There
situations like
are,
that
right.
happening.
And
Yeah.
they're everywhere in all of these cities that have really cold winters. So I would hope to expand and have hubs in places like Chicago and
Amen,
Boston
yeah.
and Philly, anywhere where it's cold and there are groups of homeless and at-risk LGBTQ plus youth that we can help out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like an end goal that we have. We're actually making some progress on that goal. We can announce today that we have made a new partnership with the Rent 25th Anniversary Farewell Tour.
Oh, what a great partnership!
And
Wow.
It's really amazing. Their mission, I mean, their story is really about houseless LGBT folks in New York
perfect.
City. So
Yeah.
really, I cannot imagine a better partnership.
Exactly.
And they're helping us to make connections and serve youth across the nation through their 60+ markets that they're in. So that's super exciting. And the more recent goal that I have is to hopefully get an office space. Right now, we're operating out of my apartment in New York City. So we'd love to get an office so that we can expand our storage capacity because
Yeah.
we're getting boxes daily, so that we can hire some staff and have more programs and offer more services to these youth. And then also
Absolutely.
offer a space that crafters can come in and craft and interact with the youth that we serve. They can learn how to knit and crochet for themselves and just make this little Knit the Rainbow crafting family.
Yeah.
So that's kind of our more
great
immediate
name,
goal.
Knit the
Thank
Rainbow.
you. Yes, our shorthand is KTR. And if you
Yeah.
know knitting and crafting, there's usually a shorthand for all of the terms that we use. So we
Yeah.
have a little short term that's KTR, and
love
it
it.
fits kind of the fiber arts theme.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our short-term goal, is just getting an office, and the more people that we can bring in, the more bigger spaces that we can get, the more youth that we can serve and keep warm in the winter.
Yeah, oh my gosh,
Right
it's
on.
amazing what you're doing. Well, Austin's got big dreams for Knit the Rainbow, KTR, and we want to see them come true. So we're going to give him $5,000 just to help out.
Great. Am I happy to ask?
That's high.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
I was like, I felt us both wanting to
I need
lean
to- I
in.
need to-